Welcome to Etta Arlene's Spiritcast. If you're new to this podcast, we talk about all things related to mindfulness, magic, tarot, astrology, spirituality, Reiki, anything in that realm. And today we have several guests. We have Thomas Mooneagle, and we also have Dan back. And they're going to join us for this, I guess, a round table, we're going to call it. So this is our first time doing a large group podcast episode, and I'm really looking forward to it. So going into it, I guess I wanted to ask you guys if you had any thoughts on some of the energies and the things surrounding what's currently happening. Because I hear a lot of stuff on the internet, a lot of different people with different opinions about X, Y, and Z. So I just wanted to hear what you guys thought.
I've been very vocal for the past few weeks.
Yeah.
I've actually made a lot of people mad, and my friend list keeps getting shorter on Facebook. So.
Oh, well, you don't need those people anyway.
That's right. So I've become several memes in the process in the past month, which is kind of fun.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What are they saying? What do you mean?
Well, one of them was love and light are not condoms, was one of my things that I said. It just popped out of. So, and what I mean by that is there's just so much pressure for people to feel good again, right? Because I mean, and I get it, because we're so bombarded with depressing information, and there's a lot of fear and grief, and that people just want to bypass all that and go back to let's be on top of the world and create our future. And I'm like, okay, that's where the whole love and light are not condoms. It's you just don't put that on and everything's fine, right? You have to be with this where you are, and it's very uncomfortable. And for me, I keep getting told every time I try to reach out and get guidance, I keep getting told to wait, just wait. So, which is really frustrating, because Inigo Montoya, I hate waiting. So
yeah, I keep on getting just acceptance and stay in present, just accept the situation right now and just stay present and just go day to day.
Yeah,
everything feels like it's on pause, like this chunk of time doesn't count, it just is a pause. It's crazy.
We're just stuck in this weird space.
Yeah, it's we flipped to a different dimension and we're just stuck here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that a lot of people are probably working through things right now. For some reason, I know for me, I've been going up and down, and I think that there's healing going on. Certain things I thought I worked through have been coming up again, and I feel I'm on the up and up now. So fingers crossed. But I mean, I feel I have all of these tools at hand that are helping me use that energy to heal and come out better in the end. I mean, I hear a lot of people online talking about the whole dark night of the soul thing. I don't know what you guys feel about that, or
it's kind of a long night.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I do know we've had people on Twitter talk to us about their dreams. So do you guys think there's any significance to what's going on in the dream space right now?
Oh, geez. I've been having some weird dreams, and it was especially weird whenever remember that nightmare with that guy knocking on the door, and then a dream with a guy knocking on the door, and then I had a dream with a guy knocking on the door, and then I talked to Thomas about it. And he clued me in on what that could be. What did you call it again?
I don't remember. It's been there's been so it feels like a year since last week. Just from the amount of emotion. Because I don't know about you, I'm not usually so emotional all the freaking time. So it's just so much emotional processing. But I've nightmares, and when I say nightmares, people think, oh, you're being chased or there's a monster. I'm like, that's not the kind of nightmares that I usually have. It's more something sets me off emotionally or keys into one of the things that really I'm afraid of, which is more mundane things, because I'm not generally being chased by wild animals or monsters. And if I am being chased by monsters, usually I just go, "Rawr," and they run the other way, because I'm scarier than monsters. But, the things that scare me are pretty mundane, are, like not being able to take care of myself, or or having someone I love just like completely write me off. Mm-hmm. And like a dream like that will set me in a much darker space than if I'm like, their typical like nightmare or night terror. But I feel like since it's so emotional right now and we're dealing with so much uncertainty, we're processing heavily while we're sleeping. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you wake up and it's just like, I don't feel like I've even rested.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I was going to say, is that I have not remembered a single dream pretty much at all since probably, I don't know, March? I can't remember. Like, since, like, the beginning of this pandemic situation. And every night I go to sleep, I don't feel like I'm sleeping at all. Mm-hmm. But, like, I get up in the morning and I'm like, okay, it's just, like, the time's just bleeding together.
Yeah, it's like the sleep space you get in and the dreams you get in are, like, exhausting, too. Like, there's, like, no rest.
Yeah, like the dreams that I'm remembering are like the ones that are like the nightmare I had with the guy banging his head against the door, that type of stuff. And I usually am a lucid dreamer. Like lately that's like not been the case, except for like that one horrible nightmare that Dean and I both shared.
That was scary.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like dream symbolism? Do you think there are things that like people should be recording their dreams right now?
It's always, I feel like it's a good thing to have a record of dreams, because a lot of times you'll find out, when you go back later and you're reading, and you'll just see like the big correlations that were going on in your life that you didn't even know that you knew, but you're dreaming about these things. Like, I've had dreams that, predict future events. They used to happen in school. I would like dream up the test questions ahead of time and study those. So that was useful. But I mean, as I got older, it was more like dreams were showing me like what was going on behind the scenes, like emotionally. So I would dream about this person that was really kind of bad that was in my life, and they were doing stuff in the dreams that was just very blatantly aggressive. Mm-hmm. But like in my waking life, it was all kind of really hidden behind, subtle. But like my dreams were telling me this person is bad. Mm. So I think it's fuzzier now because we're all dealing with so much heaviness on a daily basis. And then we're separated, so we get online, and then we're bombarded even more by the, I don't know what you want to call it, the wealth of conspiracy theories and reports. Oh my God, yeah. I'm unfriended like 5 or 6 people in the last 2 days over that. I was just like... And people say, well, you don't believe in any conspiracies. I do believe in the conspiracies of money. So if you're looking for like a real hard conspiracy, it's not hard. It's just like, who is making money and who's not making money, and why are they pushing to do something so that they can make money? Mm-hmm. So that, it's not hard to see those things. Like, oh, this is making money over here. This is, that's money and control. Those are the two big things. So vast, intricate conspiracy theories that involved reptilians and Nazis on the moon just don't interest me. You think I'm making those things up, but I'm not. I've seen people who post those things.
Oh gosh. In times like these, there's like this void of not knowing, so it leaves the space open for anything and any kind of crazy ideas. And also, like, right now I feel like a lot of people are trying to get like hits and stuff off of the trending hashtags like, COVID-19, and so I think that stuff might be coming from that. They're just like, if I say this crazy thing, it'll get me a lot of views.
Yeah.
If it fits their narrative, they'll push it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the whole pandemic thing, those people like actually believe that that's like going on, so they'll push it and push it and push it, whether it's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you have to look at the sites, like where's the credit? There's no credit, so how can you say that this is true?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As like someone who's like a healer, Thomas, have you had people reach out to you for help right now in regards to like their emotional states and stuff like that? Have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. and my big thing is like, God, I hope I have it together today so I can, be present for this person, because sometimes I'm not having a great day either.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to do this, but it's not me again. I always have to remind myself, hey, I'm not the one doing the heavy lifting here. So
Mm-hmm.
as long as I can just set space and be with the person, then that's usually enough. So I think we're all having trouble processing this emotionally, and there is a void of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have that void of leadership, you have this pushing of all these crazy ideas, and people will latch on to anything because it makes them feel safer. So that's because people don't like uncertainty, and not only is there uncertainty, but a lot of people's identity is tied to their routine and their professions, and a lot of them aren't being able to do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also you're like, who am I? What am I doing? What day is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I noticed something interesting about like on social media and stuff, and like with friends, it seems like a lot more people are reaching out to the metaphysical like community. I'm noticing it. I don't know if you guys have noticed that at all.
Definitely an influx of people posting in their stories with all kinds of metaphysical stuff. It's like some people are listening and awakening and sharing, and in this trying time,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's always in moments of uncertainty that people start to reach out to other sources to try to figure out, like, to find grounding,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, obviously this normal structure doesn't work, so it's like we need a new path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Thomas said, with the whole like so many people being grounded in like what they do, what their day-to-day thing is, and not having that, a lot of people feel up in the air and they are looking for grounding.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that way because I've had a lot of, like, you guys know, like, a lot of shakeups, and I feel that way. Like, I feel like I thought I knew, like, what I wanted and stuff, and now I'm, like, actually facing some truths that I would not have faced if this would be normal life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Thomas, when you said this stuff about career, that first 2 weeks that we were in isolation, I literally had the thought come to my mind that, like, who am I if I can't be like a hairdresser? Like, I get up and go to work like every day and I work hard, and it's like, what else? And then there was like this space that freed up for me to like fill with other things than just that. Mm-hmm. And so in that sense, it's been kind of nice.
Yeah.
I've really considered, like, I might not go back to what I was doing, at least not as much as I was beforehand, because I was even before this going, some of this is just not working for me, teaching and all, and I was just like, this is just not working for me. It's not meeting my needs. Mm-hmm. And it's a huge output of my energy, because I tell people, like, I'm not an extrovert, I just play one on TV, because but to get and stand in front of, like, in a gym and like teach a whole class of people, that's like a huge effort for me to, first of all, project my voice, because I have an inside voice. And I didn't inherit my mother's, she does not have an inside voice because she's like half Sicilian, so everything is at full volume always. But I just go back and I look, I'm like, what is it that I really want out of the structure of my life? And I was just, going through a routine, and it was, taking just about everything I had just to keep up that routine. And yet when it was on, there was like that first week, I did nothing. I had no energy, and I was depressed because I was spending too much time on social media, and I was looking through the news feed, and the news feed is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the news feed is very, very bad because you scroll and you just see more and more. And so you're getting hit again and again and again because even if it's the same article that you've already seen, you take another emotional hit from it every time you see it in the news feed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I started live streaming and doing more, putting content out, because while I'm doing that, I'm not scrolling through my news feed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, or trying to turn the computer off during the day and do other things, do my workouts, do, my meditations, do my journey work, do, writing. Or this week I've been doing a lot of clay work. So all of those things to manage that. Does it make me any more informed to scroll through that newsfeed 5 times during the day? Not really.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I took certain apps off my phone because of it. We started creating more content too, I noticed, and kind of made us refocus how we want our business to be.
Hey guys, we just want to take a second to let you know where you can find us at. You can listen to our podcast on all major podcasting networks like Stitcher, iTunes, and more. You can also follow us on Instagram at Etta Arlene, on Twitter at edpro_pgh, on Pinterest at Etta Arlene, on Tumblr at Etta Arlene, and you can go to our website to subscribe for some Reiki. Thanks for listening.
Oh dear. Well, that's like why, I don't know, like it's important to stay like in the moment and like now. That's what I'm like learning, especially like currently, that I can control like what's going on with myself in this very moment to an extent, but like other than that, like trying to predict like how tomorrow is going to be and X, Y, and Z. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I guess there's some like freedom in relinquishing that and just kind of like releasing the need to have this certain outcome or what have you. So that's why
It's hard. I mean, because they're like, wait, be in the moment. I'm like, but I don't like this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All there is this moment.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it's like great way to like. This is like being in the moment. Elite class training, right?
Oh yeah.
We have no choice.
It's also nice to have like this big chunk of time to read books, and I've been learning how to bake and working with my crystals more and checking in on all that kind of stuff. It's nice to have all this extra time to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I might have to like put crystals on my chakras and like actually like do a major healing after this call.
Really feeling rustic.
Oh, I feel horrible right now. I feel horrible. I'm sorry. I'm not on my A game right now. It's been like this. It's been up and down, up and down. Like I'll have like 1 week where I'm really, really, really good. Like things are really good, and then I'll end up like the next week going through a bunch of like subconscious thoughts, programming coming forward, and like all these weird memories and stuff. And we're at the full moon, full moon energy. So all this stuff's coming to light, and I'm like processing all these emotions and feelings and trying to work through stuff. And it's different, like day to day, week to week, and it's a lot to handle.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm at the downswing part where I am not my normal happy self.
Well, let's see. So what I'm seeing for you is kind of the grandmother spirits would be the most helpful for you right now. It's almost like they want to peel off kind of like a layer from the outside. So the moon might intensify things, but actually the moon right now would be a good guardian spirit for you. So bring that energy in. What I see is kind of like shadow coming off of you. But as it falls down, it forms like roots to bring you into the earth. So there's so much focusing on shadow and darkness as sort of a negative thing. And it can be when we don't balance and work with that. But that darkness is also very comforting and can be healing. So I see that kind of moving up the spine now, coming out the top of the head. There's this big tree motif going on, so. All right, I'd say try that on for size, see how you like it.
Wow.
I feel like a lot lighter. Do you have any guidance for me? Like, what do you think, like, I should do to try to, like, I don't know, like, should I try to face that darkness more, or?
Allow it to flow and allow it to root you. That's what I was seeing. It was like the shadows were like being peeled off of you, but they were like going down from your legs and becoming like roots going into the earth, taking you deeper. So that's what I say, shadow is not bad. Light can burn. So light is not always the answer either. This whole idea, like I was seeing the moon overhead coming through, because the moon is a grandmother spirit too, Yeah. So yes, there was like a physical grandmother, but there was like a whole circle of grandmothers. So that was coming through. It's like the grandmother energy was like, whoo, surrounding you, is what wanted to.
Wow.
So now, if you ask me to do that same thing at a different time, it won't happen, because it was for the moment.
Wow. That's really amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there may be some emotion flowing from that, so that's okay. And sometimes, during healing, it doesn't always feel comfortable. Because we're like, it's sort of like, if you're cleaning out like a cut or a wound, it's not comfortable when you're doing it, right? But sometimes afterwards they'll start to, peace. But that, when you said I feel lighter, that's like, okay, that's my indication that yes, okay, we got somewhere, because.
Yeah, because I could feel, like, when you're saying something about your spine, I could feel it, and I could feel like the crown, like I could feel that, like I could feel it branching out, like I could feel like the lightness coming through. Like my back still feels like icy. It's interesting.
So cool. Wow.
Good deal.
Wow.
Feeling crisis. Good deal.
Last time we didn't even do this. We spent like 2.5 hours, and we didn't do a single thing like that.
Oh, it's been very challenging with a lot of stuff, and then like there's been a lot of stuff that has happened like back to back to back to back, and it's like challenging trying to deal with all that. Usually it's like one thing at a time, like one thing, and then 6 months later one thing. But now it's like, okay, next week's gonna be this, next week's this.
Bam.
There's never a chance to really like. Well, actually, there is time. Like, there's actually time for you actually to face these problems and to face this emotion and to not push it down. Like, we have nothing. Like, we have time. Like, we're all working from home and stuff. Like, we do have time. And I think that's why, like, I'm dealing with that right now. Like, I'm dealing with, like, I do have all this time compared to what I used to have, so that I'm actually bringing up all this stuff, like dealing with all these issues that I've pushed down for so long. And like some of these moments that have been happening have been triggering like old past emotions to come forward. And it's just been a lot recently.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. I feel like just on a societal level, that's where we've been. We've pushed everything down in the background because we don't have time for emotions. We don't have time to like deal with our feelings because we have to be productive, because there's like this insane drumbeat of productivity that we have. We're not spending every moment being productive or working on ourselves or, doing something, then, we're being lazy or wasting our lives or, and everything we do has to be earning something or earning money or, sometimes I made tie-dye because I freaking could, and I was like, I'm gonna make some tie-dye, one week, and that was my big thing that week. That was the only thing I did that week. But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, life is not just about, producing, because, so much of what we produce is just disposed of very shortly thereafter. And even I'm looking at like my schedule, like how many people can I reasonably see in a week and give good service to them, and still have enough of me to show up for my life. And not just, that, but, with being teaching and stuff, like how much can I do to, and still like take care of me and take care of my loved ones? Because I feel like right now we're really being told to focus on yourself and focus on your people, the people around you. And before this like really hit, I was like, because I checked in and this was like, is there anything we could do to shift this? Because I'm like, oh, I'm all about that, right? And it was like, no, this is happening. Make your peace with it. See to your people. That was kind of the message. See to your people.
Wow. I mean, you do a lot, so I can see how you would feel like, because you're a teacher and then you're also doing healings and, so you're working with the public, plus you are a writer, because you're still working on your second book.
Yeah, the one that's currently kicking my butt.
Yeah. Plus you're an artist.
Yeah, I was working there today too. And that's the funny thing is that I've finally gotten back to my artwork. It only took a global pandemic, right? I mean, it's crazy that it took that much to get me down into my studio to make me work. And I'm working there, and I was working in there today, and I was singing along to my music, which I haven't sang in I don't know how long. And probably the best thing for me is to have my hands doing something, creating. But, I think we've been in a space, it's been I'm glad there's one thing I am glad to see go around social media is that we don't want to go back to normal. Normal was not working. Yeah. And I feel like that message is really starting to penetrate in a level and to more people in a way that it hadn't before. Like many people are like, well, yeah, we could do a little bit better. And people are like, no, actually, what we had wasn't really working for almost anybody. So, at the same time, people are like, oh, yes, it's going to usher in a golden age and things are going to be wonderful and light. I'm like, not without some hard work. It's not without dedication, not without demanding that be the case. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I mean, it's happening already. There's this demand to reopen the economy, to put people back into work, because while they're not working, they're not making money for people.
Yeah.
And that just can't happen, right? So there's this idea that we have to choose between people dying or the economy. And it's like, that's a stupid choice.
Yeah.
It's extremely stupid, and it doesn't matter. That's why I don't understand, like, I think that's another thing too, like, that's messing me up really bad. It's like, why are we putting this made up currency over the lives of others? And where's the humanity?
Yeah.
Like, why are we having these workers at these grocery stores and like Amazon drivers and so on and so forth not even having the proper gear to protect themselves just so that we can have what we need? Like, when's enough? How much money do you need? Like, why can't these people at least just shut down for a month so we can all like have some sense of normalcy after? Why?
Yeah. Why are we pushing it? I mean, I've seen on social media a lot of like people wanting to like sacrifice, like you can sacrifice yourself for the economy.
Right.
That's why I tune out of like the news stuff, because I've seen so much stupid like misinformation, and like there's literally in America like senators and governors and stuff going on these news networks saying like asking all these workers to go back into the workforce and sacrifice themselves for the economy. Yeah. Why? Because it's this structure that we're in.
Yeah.
The big wigs don't care.
Yeah,
Right.
but when's enough? Like, how much is the big wig at McDonald's making, an hour?
Well,
Or
I
Amazon,
think
like,
Those people, nothing's ever enough.
the reason is because they feel like if they continue to grow and continue to have more money, they can control whatever situation they get into. And so it's this fear of losing control. And guess what, folks? If you think you are in control, you're not in control.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. You never will be, no matter how much you have. Someday you're going to die. And no matter how much money you have, you're going to die. You can probably stave it off better than somebody who's, making poverty wages for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a number, and eventually your number comes up. But as long as they can have this illusion of that they can control a situation by accruing more, they're going to do that because that helps soothe their fears. So we're all trying to soothe their fears.
Welcome to capitalism.
Yeah. I mean, and there's nothing, I am not I'm not opposed to people making profit. I don't want to say, that that's bad. Because you need to be able to meet your needs and follow, and also not just have your basic needs, but, have enough to pursue a couple dreams.
Yeah.
And contribute back. And so to do that, you need to profit. But, you don't profit off of the blood and tears of other people.
Yeah.
If your profit requires blood sacrifice, which is what is going on, it is this blatant blood sacrifice.
Oh my gosh.
It's blatant, and it's
Yeah.
tears and worry and the fear.
Gosh.
That got me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's like right in the forefront. You think blood
Yeah.
sacrifice, they're killing a goat on a table. No.
No.
Plain sight,
There's your
everyday
next
blood
meme.
sacrifice.
Blood
sight.
sacrifice.
My God.
Now you see why I've been made into memes, folks, because
Oh,
I'll just
God.
say it.
That was like boom.
I know. I felt that when you said that. I was like, oh,
It's true.
All three of us were like,
oh man.
Honestly, is it any different than how it always has been?
Not really.
we're just blinded to it and like dumbed down to it. They're not like killing somebody in the street now.
Yes.
You're killing yourself for them thinking that you're going to get a little bit of the cheese or whatever.
See, Dan, it always goes back to that lake moment. It always comes back.
Thomas doesn't know about the lake.
I don't know about the lake.
Oh my
That's-
God.
The one year, every year we go up to the one Great Lake, and we float in it for hours upon hours. And the one day, Dan and I lost time completely and got roasted.
It all started with me looking at it, and I said, isn't it nice to be out here and not connected to like any of the phones or like none of the stuff that's going on land. Then we started talking about like pharmaceutical and a no meat diet, and it just went on and on and on, and we covered like everything in the entire world. We were like way out in the middle of the lake. Oh.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The weird thing is like on a weird level, I also feel like we're closer to that Star Trek future than we've ever been, where like everybody's needs are met.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're also closer to like the Mad Max, like apocalyptic future than we've ever been. So it's sort of like, where are we gonna like? So all these people are saying, "Oh, we're gonna be everything's gonna be better and wonderful." I'm like, usually these are people with good health care from their spouse who subscribe to a particular type of spirituality, which is very much just everything is love and light, hearts, rainbows, and candy canes and stuff like that. And there's no dark anywhere. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. You work in the shamanic field long enough, you are going to meet darkness, like real darkness, like scary darkness. Not just your...
Yeah.
And that's not to scare people. I'm like, it's part of life, this whole idea of, that, death is there. It's real. It's part of the whole cycle. This animal eats this animal and that's how but there's also life in between that. And it's part of that balance. and to just negate half of that and negate other experiences. Like, I've had uplifting messages come from spirit about this whole thing. I haven't put them out there publicly because it feels like it would be negating someone's personal suffering in a time when they really just need to feel the depth of what they've lost. Mm-hmm. And it's not comforting to hear someone saying, oh, this is all going to go for the good. No, that doesn't help them at all. They just lost somebody they loved.
You say stuff like that all the time. Like, if you're going through it, you don't want to hear.
Yes, like if you're struggling, you're not receptive to that idea necessarily, because you, like, I don't know, like for me, like when I'm in deep despair, like it's like, how can I believe what you're saying when I really, to my core, like at that moment, I can't, you know?
Right.
And like we've been through crap. Like I know what it's like to lose people. We all do. And people try to be nice and they try to like say kind words, but no words that you say to somebody is going to make them feel better. Like, they have to process those emotions and feel to heal. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. One thing you said about the shadow being comforting, I thought that was kind of interesting, Thomas.
I mean, the shadow contains our fear as well. And, we're told, no, don't fear, don't slip into fear vibration. I'm like, well, fear vibration was originally designed to keep you alive, mm-hmm. like to get you out of danger, to keep you alert. And, it's also, like I said, same type of people. Rich people who have really great health care, telling all these other people, don't be afraid, it's all good. I'm like, tell that to the person who's making poverty wages with absolute crap health care, who can't take sick time, mm-hmm. and tell them, don't stay in that vibration of fear, you'll make yourself sick. Well, they are in a dangerous situation. And it's all of us that have put them there. I mean, so we have to, like, society after this is to say, we're all saying, oh, you're such heroes. And like, that's great and all. How about we fight for like their needs being met? Like, mm-hmm. when we're actually able to assemble without danger to everybody, we should like assemble on their behalf and demand change.
Yeah.
And that's how we get to that golden age, mm-hmm. is by fighting for people who we don't know, mm-hmm. and for, stuff that we may already have. People think it's like, mm-hmm. instead of fighting like, I'm not privileged, why not say, hey, I would like to extend my privilege,
mm-hmm. yeah,
to everybody, so that everyone gets treated in a sane way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think too, like us fighting for each other, like that's what's going to take us into the golden age. I keep feeling like this pandemic is proving that we are all interconnected, because we're all suffering. Most part, I mean, not everybody, I guess, is suffering, but everybody's feeling this impact collectively across the globe. So it's like, if you ever needed proof that you should look out for your, this person you don't know, like that's it right here, like right now, like what's happening is like proof of it all. So I don't know. And then I think of like a healing crisis. You're saying like, it's not all light and love. There is a healing crisis whenever you go through it. You don't just like bounce into that like better state. So.
Yeah. Would that be nice though?
Yeah.
Just like, bam! Oh, I'm healed. Great. All my issues just dropped away.
That was the case, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's also like everybody struggles in their own way too, mm-hmm. and like I thought, which is like why I think too, like I thought like I had everything figured out, and like I was like good, and then you're faced with some of these situations like we never expected to occur, and you're like actually dealing with things, and you're seeing like I said, like we have all this time, like I'm actually dealing with crap that I've been pushing off. Like, what is my identity? What do I really want to do with my time? Like, should I go back to the normal structure of my life? Like, what do I want my future to be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking that. I mean, well, all of us just said that. Like,
yeah.
Dan, you were like,
we all have, and none of us live a very traditional life, so I can't imagine what Susie who works in, New York City on Wall Street's feeling right now.
Mhm.
Like we all have chose a very unconventional lifestyle, and I'm still like what the fuck am I doing? What is time? Like what is this? Like I don't have it figured out. Like what is this?
Where am I at?
No.
Send me a
And
message.
I don't know that I chose it. I'm not normal, and it's just like I couldn't do normal
No.
to save my life. I mean, seriously, I've tried.
That's probably why Susie on Wall Street's freaking out and wants the economy open, because she wants normal back, because that's all she knows.
Or just in general, like these businesses and stuff who are trying to push to reopen. Like I understand, like we all own businesses,
Yeah.
and we all would like to make more money and like get back to normal in certain aspect, but we can't sacrifice the safety of others to do that.
Yeah.
And you have these people who are like, why won't these schools open? And I don't know, the mall. Like, why won't Hollister fucking open? Like, damn jeans, okay?
I feel like it's exposing like the haves and have-nots, and like people who like are selfish and the people who care more on a global scale. You know what I mean? Like it's clear who's on what side of what throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Selfish people are so loud.
Yes. Yeah. It's like a temper tantrum.
It is.
So,
Which is why I've been very vocal, and like people are like, I saw your cast. Man, you were angry, weren't you? I'm like, hell yeah, I was angry.
I need to get on
I
live.
Yeah, I need to get on here and get to
Yeah.
I think, well, I like the one where I'm like shaking, I think was on a Facebook Live, and then it was just like,
Oh man.
I'm gonna have to go on blackout mode.
Just
yeah.
Did I explain that to you, Thomas, before?
We're going tertiary.
No, blackout mode. What's that? Is that just
Blackout modes is when I literally cut off communication with like any type of social media, like people, and I just do me for an extended period of time until I'm me again.
Oh yeah, I've done that during this before. Like I did 1 week like that. I was just like, and like it drove some of my family crazy because they're trying to get a hold of me, and I'm like, I don't have it. Sorry. And I was like saying that to everybody, like I haven't talked to anybody this week.
No, like, literally. 'Cause that's one thing. It's like the older I get and the more I'm into mindfulness, like the more I notice my toxic like habits and my emotions and feelings, and I know when to retreat. I know when to step away and to start trying to heal or start trying to deal with shit. And that's something that I've done like for years now. And this quarantine, I have not had a chance to do that yet, because every day it's something new.
Wait till after your crystal reading.
Yeah. After that, I'm tapping out. No one's gonna see me for who knows how long.
I need to like put out like a big huge flag or like a spotlight in the sky with the moon and the eagle. Just lets them know. Yep, he's gone. So I'm blackout. Hearts and calm and rainbows and all things. I mean, I am those things, but I'm also like, burn this motherfucker down, kind of.
Yeah.
At times too, and I'm one of those people. I don't burn bridges. I napalm those suckers. I mean, no, I mean it's it's weird. This people are like, oh, you're supposed to be all spiritual and calm and peaceful. I was like, I think you're forgetting something. And they're like, what's that? It's like Jesus like turned over tables and chased people out of the temple with a whip. I'm like, and I totally get that now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think too, like we're all human and we're having a human experience and we're here to learn lessons, and that would encompass like all of the human emotions. So ignoring your anger or your like sadness doesn't allow for you to like heal and learn what you need to learn. And I don't know. It's like
that's key. Like I'm the queen of pushing things down and like redirecting my energy to something else. Like I'm queen of that. I'm queen of like turning my sadness into just pure anger and being mad at like
me.
you or something like something, or if I'm in an uncomfortable situation, like
it's like all of that gets collected in like a bucket, you know, and
Yeah.
then like the pandemic was just like for like everybody, and it's like, okay, you have to deal with all this right now because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, literally.
You can't use all your band-aids and your little things to make you feel better and all your little confirmations and stuff to make yourself feel better. It's like, no, you got to deal with it for real.
Yep. Can't go out to the movies and be distracted. Can't go shopping and get distracted.
Exactly.
There's a social pressure to like project ahead and project forward instead of just being present. Really, they do not want you to be present. Because if you're present, you may come to realize things that are very inconvenient for the social program.
Like on the other side of that fear of like the what ifs, like on the other side, like what would happen if everybody said, no, we don't want to return back to the way society was? What happens?
Eat the rich.
Well, see, the thing is we've been indoctrinated our entire lives to follow a structure. And if we're not following that structure, which is to constantly progress and move forward and acquire more, we don't feel valued or important. You know, and as much as progress is needed and change is needed, so many people will fall directly back into that programming that, and unfortunately, the reality is that not enough people are awake in 2020 for that to actually happen right now.
Does it really matter that much? Do we have to be in an office every day? Like, we don't. And the world's still turning.
Right. Yeah. I saw some of the online school options and they look amazing and they still are interactive and people get to work together in team environments. I had a virtual meeting with my doctor. She was sitting on her couch at home. Her hair looked a mess. You know, we can change the way the world works. You know, it doesn't have to be the same old thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's making us question things and kind of shattering some of the illusions we had.
Okay, so now it's time for Reiki. As usual, at the end of every podcast, we like to send our listeners some distant Reiki. We advise that you do not drive or operate any vehicles during this mini Reiki session because Reiki sometimes can make you sleepy. So for this session, all you have to do is sit back, relax, and be open to receiving the energies. We like our clients to meditate, but you don't have to. You'll still get the Reiki energy. The music will change, and when the music stops, the Reiki session has ended. Thanks for listening. Bye.